The sun, a molten disk of pure gold, began its slow descent over the magnificent city of Babylon. Its dying rays painted the towering ziggurats and the famed hanging gardens in hues of orange and deep purple. Down below, in the labyrinthine streets teeming with life, the day's commerce was winding down. Amidst this bustling metropolis lived two friends, Bansir, a skilled chariot builder, Kobi, a gifted musician.
He spoke of his empty purse, of the dreams he once held that now seemed as distant as the stars.
They questioned the very fabric of their existence, wondering why some men accumulated vast riches while they, and so many others, toiled endlessly just to survive. Their conversation turned to a name whispered with reverence and envy throughout the city: Arkad. He was known to all as the richest man in Babylon. How had he done it? What secret knowledge did he possess? This fundamental question, how to build a life of prosperity from a foundation of scarcity, is not unique to the dusty streets of ancient Babylon. The story of Arkad and the wisdom he shared with his fellow citizens is more than just a historical tale. It is a roadmap. It is a journey that begins with a simple yet profound realization that the power to build a fortune lies not in the hands of the gods, but within our own. Close-up of a determined person's fist closing around ancient coins, symbolizing personal agency and control over financial destiny. Arkad's story begins not in a grand palace but in the humble chamber of a scribe, his hands stained with ink, his back hunched over clay tablets. As a young man, he worked long, arduous hours, carving cuneiform characters for a meager wage. He saw the wealth of Babylon flowing all around him, the fine robes of the merchants, the gleaming chariots of the nobles, and the grand temples built to honor the gods. A deep and burning desire grew within him, not of envy, but of a powerful yearning to understand. He wanted to partake in the good things of life. He promised himself he would discover the laws that governed the accumulation of wealth and master them. His moment of transformation arrived in the form of a challenge from a wealthy moneylender named Algamish. Arkad, seeing his opportunity, worked through the night with a furious intensity, his tired hands shaping the clay under the flickering lamplight. When Algamish returned at dawn, the work was complete.
"Teach me how you became so wealthy," Arkad pleaded, "and I shall carve for you for free."
This exchange, this decision to value knowledge over immediate reward, was the first and most crucial step on his path to riches.
I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep.
From his very next payment, a handful of copper coins, he set aside 1/10 for himself. It was a meager sum, and the temptation to spend it was immense. His stomach might rumble, and his desires for small comforts might call to him, but he resisted. He treated this small, growing pile of coins not as a fund for future spending, but as the beginning of his fortune, a treasure that was his and his alone. The friends of his youth, Bansir and Kobi, eventually sought him out, their faces etched with the same confusion that had once clouded his own. They gathered with others in the great hall of learning, eager to hear the secrets from the man who had solved the riddle of the lean purse. Arkad, now a figure of great stature and quiet confidence, greeted them not as a superior, but as a fellow traveler.
"I will tell you the 7 cures for a lean purse. The first and most vital cure is this.
Start thy purse to fattening. For every 10 coins thou placest in thy purse, take out for use but 9. Thy purse will start to fatten at once, and its increasing weight will feel good in thy hand and bring satisfaction to thy soul." He spoke of their baskets of eggs. If you have a basket of 10 eggs each morning and you plan to sell them at market, what would happen if you first set aside 1 egg for your own family's future? But over time, you would have a growing store of eggs, a resource that belongs only to you. This simple story resonated with the listeners. They understood the logic. The act of paying oneself first was not an act of deprivation, but an act of profound self-investment. The first step in claiming ownership over one's own financial future and breaking free from the hand-to-mouth existence they all knew too well. Today, we call this paying yourself first, automatic savings. It is the same timeless wisdom. 10% of a bag of silver coins from a chariot sale in Babylon, 10% of a monthly paycheck direct deposited into a retirement account. It is the simple, non-negotiable act of setting aside a portion of your income for your future self, creating the seed capital from which your own financial empire can grow. The second cure is to control thy expenditures. Necessary expenses will grow to equal incomes unless you protest. Create a budget, inscribe true necessary expenses on a clay tablet, distinguish needs from desires. Understand where money is going, plug the leaks in your purse, live on 9/10 and save 1/10. Make thy gold multiply. Each saved coin is a worker, a golden slave. Every copper you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that can earn for you. Make saved coins earn, let their children earn, compound over time. He lent his first savings to a shield maker, received rental or interest for the use of his capital. That interest was the first child, put to work building compounding momentum. Guard thy treasures from loss. Beware investing in things you don't understand and trusting the inexperienced. He remembered losing a year's savings giving it to a brickmaker who promised to buy rare jewels abroad. The brickmaker was swindled. Arkad's capital was lost. Protect your principal. Invest with the wise. Avoid schemes promising impossible returns. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Own your home. Rent paid to a landlord can become an asset you own, reduce living costs, and free more earnings to work for you. These cures form a complete system. Saving, budgeting, investing wisely, protecting capital, reducing largest expenses, build a machine for generating wealth, powered by an army of golden slaves working day and night. The sixth cure, he stated with solemn responsibility, is to ensure a future income. He spoke of the inevitable reality that all men grow old. The ability to labor with one's hands or mind will eventually diminish. Therefore, a wise person must make provisions for the days when they are no longer able to earn. He advised them to put aside small sums regularly for this purpose, investing them in safe, long-term ventures that would grow over the decades. The seventh and final cure was perhaps the most empowering of all: increase thy ability to earn. Arkad insisted that wealth was not merely a result of saving, but also of growing one's own skills and wisdom. The more of wisdom we know, the more we may earn, he declared. A chariot builder who learns new techniques can build better chariots and command a higher price. A musician who practices diligently can play for more esteemed audiences. To crystallize his teachings further, Arkad summarized his philosophy into what he called the 5 laws of gold. The first law simply states, "Gold cometh gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings." The second law followed, "Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field." The third law served as a crucial caution. "Gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling." The fourth law was a direct warning. "Gold slippeth away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar." And finally, the fifth law condemned get-rich-quick schemes. "Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers." These 5 laws were the constitution of a wealthy life, a guide to attracting, keeping, and multiplying riches. It is tempting to look back at Arkad's Babylon, with its clay tablets and copper coins, and see it as a world entirely alien to our own. We live in an age of digital transactions, global stock markets, cryptocurrencies, a financial landscape of bewildering complexity. Yet if we strip away the superficial differences of time and technology, we find the cures for a lean purse and the laws of gold are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. The fundamental human relationship with money has not changed. The anxieties of an empty bank account are the same as those of an empty purse. Consider Arkad's first cure: start thy purse to fattening. This is the very essence of modern personal finance advice. We automate this process with direct deposits into 401 KAs, IRAs, savings accounts. The technology is different, but the principle is identical. The call to control thy expenditures resonates deeply in our consumer-driven society. Arkad advised carving expenses onto a clay tablet. Today, we use budgeting apps like Mint, YNAB. Similarly, his third cure, make thy gold multiply, is the very definition of investing. Arkad's golden slaves are our stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate investments. The concept of compound interest, where our investment earnings begin to generate their own earnings, is a direct modern parallel to Arkad's savings having children. Likewise, the warnings to guard thy treasures from loss and avoid schemes that promise impossible earnings are perhaps more critical today than ever. The internet is rife with fraudulent investment schemes, speculative bubbles, the alluring advice of tricksters. Arkad's painful lesson with the brickmaker and the jewels is replayed daily. People losing their life savings on speculative cryptocurrencies they don't understand, falling for too good to be true investment scams. Arkad's advice to invest only in what you understand and to seek the counsel of those wise in the handling of money is the perfect antidote to the financial follies of our age. The ancient wisdom serves as a steady anchor in the turbulent waters of modern markets. The story of Arkad is more than a collection of financial tips. It is a profound testament to the power of human agency. It is a story about taking control. The citizens of Babylon who listened to Arkad's wisdom were not given gold. They were given a blueprint. Arkad did not perform magic. He simply illuminated a path that was available to everyone, a path paved with discipline, patience, knowledge. He taught them that they did not have to be passive victims of circumstance, forever lamenting their lean purses. They could become the active architects of their own financial destinies, building a fortress of security, brick by brick, coin by coin. This message of empowerment is the ultimate legacy of the richest man in Babylon. This same choice confronts each of us today. We are born into a complex economic world, and it is easy to feel overwhelmed, to believe that wealth is a game reserved for a lucky few. But Arkad's journey from a humble scribe to a man of legendary fortune proves otherwise. His principles are democratic. They work for anyone, regardless of their starting point. The first step is not to earn more money, but to make a decision, a conscious, deliberate decision to take charge of your financial life. It is the decision to value your future self and to begin, today, to provide for that person by setting aside the first fruits of your labor. The path is simple, though it is not always easy. It requires the discipline to pay yourself first, the foresight to budget your expenses, the wisdom to make your money work for you, and the prudence to protect it from loss. It demands a commitment to lifelong learning, to constantly increasing your ability to earn and to serve others. These are not get-rich-quick secrets. They are get-rich-surely principles, a time-tested methodology for building lasting wealth and security. It is a journey of 1,000 miles that begins with saving a single coin and then another coin and then another coin, until you have an army of golden slaves working to build the life you desire. Ultimately, the choice is yours. You can continue as you are, allowing your earnings to slip through your fingers, leaving your future to chance. Or you can heed the timeless wisdom that is echoed down through the millennia from the sun-drenched streets of Babylon. You can decide right now to apply these 7 cures and 5 laws to your own life. You hold the clay tablets and the stylus in your own hands. The story of your financial future is not yet written. You are the scribe, you are the architect. Begin today and build yourself a life of abundance.